The economy is an interesting thing. You generally hear the same statistics over and over again. The fake unemployment rate, the wonderful consumer confidence, and everyone's favorite, the GDP. Now, I love a good comedy myself, but it's also important to actually spend some time looking at the facts. The jobs numbers are definitely not giving you the whole picture. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. Today we're going to look at what's happening with the car companies. They are laying off a lot of people. I touch on this information and you need to understand really what I'm doing. I am giving you an alternative to the mainstream. When you look at any mainstream publication, maybe it's Bloomberg, maybe it's CNBC, or any of the others, they have to worry about their advertisers primarily. They have to worry about presenting information to you that will hurt their sales. This is obvious for different reasons. You have these companies that are running this as a business. There's no doubt about that. So while they might contain information that is very useful, very truthful, they have to make sure that the majority of the information that they publish is looking positive. Even when the cycle is turning down, you always see the articles. These are the top 5 stocks to buy. These are the number 1 things to get into today. This is what you should do to readjust your portfolio. This is why you shouldn't panic, and so on. This type of information is always on the top, always right there accessible, and then you will see some information hidden at the bottom in the littlest tiny square about the actual data you need to know. So when you see these type of videos, I'm simply trying to provide an alternative source of information that people can look at. When you see my information, you should then be taking the sources that I use, which are in the link in the description. Then you look at those and you look at other information that's out there. You have to take all of the data that you can possibly find, piece it all together to be able to come up with your own ideas. Automakers' job cuts are at 38,000 and counting. This number is growing very fast. As of the end of November, we have seen 38,000 well-paying jobs that are being lost. As global auto sales slow after a decade of growth, car makers are girding for a deeper downturn by slashing payrolls. So at the very bottom, from China to the UK, Germany, Canada, and the US, companies have announced at least 38,000 job cuts in the past 6 months. So we are seeing some serious numbers right now, 38,000. And as I mentioned, these are well-paying jobs. This is in one sector, 38,000 jobs. Think about this for a moment here. All of the jobs that are being created today are not the ones that we need. We are getting so much temporary work. We're getting minimum wage jobs. We're having people in the gig economy that are working 1 to 3 hours a month, and they are considered to be employed. Things are not what they seem. But I want to mention this right now. Do we have people that are employed today? Absolutely. Do we have stores that are opening today? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I'm going to show you in this video about the store openings. When you look at the details though, much closer than what they give you in the mainstream, things start to make sense. But if you're not willing to have your paradigm shaken, you're going to have an issue with this and you're going to butt heads with me. That's usually what happens. If you are simply willing to take it in and say, okay, fine, I'll take that in. No worries, but I'm still going to do what I do, then that's totally fine. But if you simply dismiss the information that is presented to you as an absolute fact, then we have a very, very strange situation. This is out of Bloomberg. Here's a rundown of major job reductions announced or reported in the past 6 months. So looking here down the list, companies like Ford, I did a video recently, 7,000 jobs, Nissan, 4,500, Honda, 3,500, that happens to be in the UK. You can go down. Many different countries, of course, are affected by this. And just looking back here, we're seeing General Motors as of November 26th, 14,000 jobs. So I've been covering this on and off for the last while, just showing showing you here that when you have these type of jobs, they're well paying, okay? This is a strong middle class job that you need, okay? Whether it's car companies or whether it's something else, we need those good jobs that pay good, they have benefits, and people stay at them hopefully for extended periods of time. They're doing what they have to do, and the companies themselves would grow, the people would benefit from it, and so on. But instead today, we have individuals that are getting paid minimum wage and they can't make ends meet. Yes, they're employed, but they can't make ends meet. That, as far as I'm concerned, is really problematic. Auto companies globally are contemplating life where global production has greater downside risk than upside. That's according to Morgan Stanley. He said the chopping may not be over for Ford, estimating a 5% decline in revenue will require another 23,000 reduction in salary jobs. Now, this is just one analyst's point of view. It's not the company, it's not the CEO. They're not saying this, but I just wanted to show it to you because I think it's really important to understand what could possibly happen. That isn't part of the 38,000. I'm not including that, but I just wanted to show this to you to give you an idea of the potential. There's more information here on this next one. It may be just the beginning. The CEO of Daimler said that there is going to be sweeping cost reductions ahead and to prepare for unprecedented industry upheaval. The industry is right now staring down the barrel of what we think is going to be a significant downturn. That's according to Bank of America. The pace of decline in China is a real surprise. This is not just because of what we're seeing between the US and China. I do believe that there is a lot of overproduction, and this is particularly evident with vehicles. Over 4 million vehicles in the United States are sitting in lots waiting to be purchased. They're just going to rot there because next year they're going to have to provide a new model, and the old models are then not good enough anymore, apparently. So this is a problem. 4 million cars just sitting there. There is no reason to produce this many vehicles and have them sitting there in lots. The same thing is going on in China. Public works are a very big thing. They want to build in order to keep people working, and this really runs its course. We are waiting on the GDP numbers to come out. Obviously, the trade issues here having an impact on their economy. We'll see if it did, in fact, the GDP did, in fact, drop below 6%. I would really like to see that, at least the admission. I bet you they're going to keep it right at that 6% just to make things look all good. They don't want to show that it could go below. If they do, I don't think they're going to let it go much further, but we'll see. Car makers are cutting shifts or closing factories altogether across the globe, but the culling goes far beyond that. Several recent rounds also target salaried workers, reflecting sluggish sales in the two largest auto markets, China and the US. So I've talked about this all the time between China and the US. You know the details of that. There are more details in this article if you want to check it out for yourself. I just wanted to show you how it's not just the car industry, because individuals always like to poke fingers. Oh, what you're covering there, oh, it's only because of that. Oh, what you're covering in this one, no, it's because of this. It's any industry that could be affected by a downturn, and what you see isn't necessarily what's going to happen in every industry at the exact same time. We are seeing it obviously in the cars as well as retail. Topshop is closing all of its US stores. So this British retailer shuttered 23 stores throughout the UK and all of its 11 Topshop and Topman stores in the United States. This happens to be yet another brand that is closing up shop. We have seen thousands and thousands of stores closing in the United States, and it continues to get worse. It's not getting any better. 2019 could be a record-breaking year. We're going to see if this continues on. So far, we're almost halfway through the year, and it is looking absolutely terrible on every level. So you can't blame a particular store. You can't say, well, it's because Topshop didn't have good management or because their prices weren't good. Well, that explains this particular store, but what about all of the other stores? We've heard so many times about e-commerce, and I consistently have to field the comments regarding it. Listen, I've shown you the data before, and ultimately we have e-commerce in the United States representing 11%, I repeat, 11% of retail sales. That's it. Not 100%, not 50%, it's 11%. This number continues to grow, and yes, it is becoming more and more important as time goes on, but it is only 11%. As always, I'd like you to maintain your eyes on this website regularly, dailyjobcuts.com. Left-hand side, you get the layoffs, middle is bankruptcy, and the right is closing, and it just constantly updates chronologically so you can see day by day all of the different companies that are suffering today in all different types of industries. It's not just the car companies, it's not just retail. You're seeing it in every different place practically, and right now, what you can see is that it is affecting so many lives. What about the store openings? You're always cherry picking the data. More than 2,100 stores are opening in 2019. As Costco, Dollar General, and TJ Maxx defy the retail apocalypse. So here you go. Now, something is very important. Costco, number one, this is a discount retailer where you go, you buy in bulk, and you save money. Obviously, just like in the last recession, what we saw was that Costco and Walmart were doing very well at the very end of that cycle. This time around, 1,000 of these 2,000 jobs, okay? 1,000 of them are dollar stores. This should tell you something, that we are seeing overwhelmingly all of the new stores that are popping up are people looking for cheaper products. I think that should be obvious for so many people, but no, they want to point at the data which makes them feel good. They want those warm and fuzzies. They want the butterflies in their stomach, and I know how it is. But some people just want to know the truth, and that's what I hope I have brought to you today. If you found it informative, please give me a thumbs up. When you give me a like on this video, you're supporting me and this channel, and I do need that right now more than ever. If you want the financial education you were not taught in school, these two books have everything that you need from top to bottom, A to Z. You can get all the details at the link in the description. If you want the audiobook, that's available at themoneygps.com. If you want to know what's really going on in the economy, you got to watch this video. I get into a lot of the details. You got to see it. Click on it and I will see you there.